Hello everybody, I'm Mario Master DT, and welcome to something really different. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I mainly just make Let's Play videos, and I screw around and am generally unfunny 90% of the time. But, I've just been always curious about just having, like, a kind of chatty, podcasty kind of video going up. I know it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but, you know, sometimes things come around, and they sound like, wow, I kind of want to talk to people about that. And I know I'm alone right now, because I felt like it would be easier to get all my points out without having to explain to another person what I'm talking about. But it's just, I wanted to talk about this weird rumor that popped up. So, you might have, if you follow Game Explain or any other Nintendo news network, really, you might have noticed that there is a rumor that just popped up about a Mario RPG crossover with the Raving Rabbids from the Rayman series, of all things. And I couldn't really believe my ears. If you follow my Facebook page, I couldn't believe my eyes either, because I didn't hear about it, I read it, so, you know, whatever. Right off the bat. Inconsistent. But, you know, that's just my world in a nutshell. But anyway, I saw the article and I was like, no, don't do that. First of all, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. Who even, is there a market for this? I kind of thought the Raving Rabbids were dead. I was kind of hoping they were dead. I generally don't really like them. They feel, I don't know. They were kind of cool in the first game they were in, but it's like when they took over the entirety of Rayman and like just kind of pushed him to the back, I was kind of like, that's a little rude. You shouldn't do that. But anyway, I mean, I heard this rumor and I was like, I kind of need to talk about this. And, you know, before anything else, I'm going to point out, I believe it is just a rumor, so we can't really get too ahead of ourselves. But there are plenty of things in the article itself, which I'll link, that say, you know, it's going to be a launch title, and it's going to be revealed in January, along with the Switch presentation, whatever it's going to be. So honestly, I don't even think it's worth getting too worked up over, especially not going crazy with hate or anything, because it might not be real. I mean, when you hear rumors, it almost tends to be like, the more far-fetched things seem to be more believable, because who would have, like, who would wake up and say, you know what, I want a Mario Raving Rabbids crossover? You know, I wouldn't. I would never think that. Like, that would never pop into my head. But, you know, then if you hear something like, yes, Mario Galaxy 3 in development, it will be like the first two, and it will have elements from Super Mario Sunshine thrown in, like, that almost seems like, it's like, oh, because that seems plausible. You know, I don't know if that really makes any sense, but that's just kind of what I had in my head. But, yeah, I don't think there's any crazy reason to get worked up over it or anything, but I still wanted to talk about it, because it's such a weird concept, because my first reaction was, and then my actual, after thinking about it, I kind of started changing my mind a little bit, like, for a variety of reasons. I have a billion bullet points here that I wanted to get to, so we're just going to jump right in, and I'm sorry for this painfully awkward discussion video. I've never done this before, so obviously it's going to be a little weird, but, you know, I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. So, if you don't like this kind of thing, just don't watch it. But anyway, so, I mean, I've already mentioned, not really a huge fan of Rabbids. I don't know that they have a huge following, especially now. I kind of figured they were done. I mean, there was that whole thing when Rayman Legends was going to be a Wii U exclusive. I believe there was some kind of, like, beta amiibo compatibility where Ubisoft was going to release a Rabbids amiibo, they were going to do something in the game, and it just didn't happen. So I almost figured that meant, like, you know, either they couldn't really get it to work the way they wanted to, or maybe they just figured it didn't have a point anymore. I don't know. Like, they've left the limelight, but if this is true, I mean, I guess we're not totally out of the clear. But, whatever. I mean, I find them kind of annoying, but at the same time, this whole thing just seems so enigmatic. Like, what could this mean for this game? Like, this game could be insanely creative. And that's why I'm saying let's not condemn it just yet, because I know a lot of people have been saying lately that the Mario RPG series that Nintendo has, you know, that have been putting out recently have almost kind of been a little bit stale. Like, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, 5th game in the Mario & Luigi series, I had really high hopes for that. I was like, Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi, are you kidding me? This could be like the coolest game they've ever made. So many references to the past games, so many interesting ideas, concepts. What could they do? The possibilities are almost endless. And they just didn't do anything. Like, they just made a very, very safe, simple crossover and didn't put too much thought into a whole lot of things. They dumbed it down a lot. And I'm not saying it was a bad game. It's just, it could have been so much more. And I'd be lying if I said Dream Team was, I don't know, better. I like Dream Team. It's more creative than Paper Jam was. And there were more original characters, stuff like that. That really matters to me. Because Paper Jam had hardly any original characters. They had, like, Starlo. And then, I mean, I like Starlo. I'm glad that she's still hanging on. But it's just, it didn't feel like a good thing. Dream Team also was really bogged down, in my opinion, by tutorials. And they just seemed like they never ended. Like, I felt like the entire game just had tutorials, and you couldn't skip them. It was very meh. I liked the game, again. Good game. Both great games. I don't dislike any game in the Mario & Luigi franchise. Jumping back to, the other Mario RPG series, Paper Mario is at a very bumpy road for me. I actually had a video a while back where I just ranted to my friend for about an hour about how Color Splash should not exist and what are Nintendo thinking. But I ended up not putting that up because, one, it was just kind of me bitching for an hour, and two, it was, like, unbearable to listen to, actually. But that's kind of my other point. Like, Color Splash, to me, at first, I condemned it. I wanted it gone. Because I felt like, I was like, why would you bring back Sticker Star when nobody enjoyed it, and it's a terrible, terrible, awful, soulless game? And that was my mindset for a very long time. Until I started seeing a little bit more of Color Splash, realizing that it actually kind of has a soul to it. And I don't know, I played through the whole game. I'm going to make a discussion on that at another time. But this Color Splash was just really decent. I really enjoyed the experience. It had so much good about it, but at the same time, there were still some things, some questionable decisions, so I don't know if I would say it's stale, like I was mentioning before, but it's definitely not what I wanted, per se, but it's also not... It's a step in the right direction for that series, okay? So, if they have to continue making Paper Mario like that, with the Sticker Star formula, we're going in the right direction, but it's still not exactly what I would have loved, but anyway, people are condemning the RPGs lately, and I don't blame them. I'm kind of worried about the next Mario & Luigi game, in fact, because I'm really hoping that Alpha Dream was just skimping on a lot of stuff because they were worried that having too many references, too many characters would be too much for the game, because it is a handheld title after all, and it wasn't even that crazy long to begin with, so I guess I can see what they were doing, but still, fact remains, the RPGs need some kind of, big jump start. Like, we need a crazy good Mario & Luigi game next time to kind of pull the series out of the rut. And, I know this hasn't been confirmed to be part of any existing series. Like, this isn't Mario & Luigi versus Rabbids RPG, this isn't Paper Rabbids RPG. This could be something completely different, but I think it might just be what we need to switch things up. And if you're going to shut off the video now, after that terrible, terrible pun, I don't blame you. But anyway, so, the gameplay, we don't know anything about. We only know what the article was talking about, and it was it was kind of vague, but it kind of gave very specific little details, but at the same time, they're very, like, almost nothing, because we don't know if it's going to be... I think it said it was a turn-based RPG, but we don't know if it's going to be more like Paper Mario, more like Mario & Luigi, or its own thing entirely. We don't know if it's going to be like a super basic pick attacks from a drop-down menu and go at it kind of thing and just wait, but I'm hoping it's not an RPG like that. I like the more active RPGs like Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario. And then there was this other article that popped up briefly that said the game is rumored to be almost like a Fire Emblem style game, But when I went to click on that article, it said it didn't exist, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to link that or anything. So I'm probably just gonna let's just sweep that under the rug for now because it disappeared before anything happened. So I mean, I'll search for it again, but I'm not putting any merit into it really. So we don't know how this is gonna play. So that could be a big factor in this. It could be completely different, could be completely new. It probably will be completely new because Ubisoft is making it. The article says with very heavy supervision from Nintendo. So it could be anything. Like, we don't know at this point. It could not be real at all, which is the other very real possibility. But it's interesting. Like, I have the article here, and I wanted to read a little bit of what it was saying because after I put some thought into it, I was like, this could be really wacky and inventive. So basically what I have here, it says, the title will focus on the Mario universe being invaded by Ubisoft's Rabbids characters. Some friends, some foes, and it will feature a new Bowser form based around the design of the Rabbids as a reoccurring boss enemy. So far what that says to me is it's going to be some kind of wacky mishmash. I mean, I don't think they can pull any substantial characters from the Rabbids universe, really. Like, I'm sure it'll be, basic Rabbid 1, Rabbid with plunger on its head, Rabbit with cone connected to foot, like... So I'm not expecting too much from there, but this weird new Bowser thing, like, maybe, like, it's a possession thing, like, they're always seeming to do with the Bowser in the RPGs, like almost every single one. Maybe it's gonna be some kind of... I don't know, but it says reoccurring boss enemy, it doesn't say final boss, so don't know what they do with that, but could be interesting. Could be, like, an antagonistic, like, rival kind of thing, like Popple and Rookie from Superstar Saga. I don't know, just kind of spitballing. But what else do we have here? So it says there'll be numerous cameo appearances from the Mario series' best-known characters, but the core party will feature numerous, more minor characters. And there's a particular focus on Yoshi as a primary party member alongside a playable Rabbid. So, to me, that's sounding more kind of like, almost like a Paper Mario-y kind of thing to do. Because usually in Paper Mario, you're not recruiting like Luigi, Peach, and Bowser. Like, that happened the one time in Super Paper Mario. But usually, you look at the most beloved Paper Mario games, which maybe they're taking inspiration from, if this is real, and you look at, you're getting partners that are common enemies, except with their own backstories. So, maybe this Yoshi partner is kind of like the Kid Yoshi that you get in Thousand Year Door. Maybe you pick up, like, a Piranha Plant partner or something, or like a Ninja. That'd be cool. Do something new, something unique, because it says minor characters. They're not going to just shove Peach, Rosalina, and Luigi in there and say, yeah, those are the minor characters of the series, right? Everyone loves that. Everyone loves them. But, to me, it sounds like they'd be going a more Paper Mario route with that. And even this playable Rabbid thing sounds interesting, because it's like, it's a morally just Rabbid? It notices, like, wow, we're invading this place and really wrecking shit up. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe I should help these guys because we're invading their home. I don't know, maybe it's like some kind of, like, genetically changed, like, mind control. Maybe it's mind control again, I don't know. But, it sounds like something, which, I mean, anything sounds like something. It's a rumor, so technically it's not even anything. But, again, interesting, I would say. So, and then, again, this whole thing about it not being real, possibly, is, it says right in the article that there'll be a playable demo ready for the press to experience in January. So if there's not a playable demo in January and there's no mention of it, it's like, well, duh, like, it's not real then. This whole thing is kind of just bonkers anyway. And, I don't know, I still think it's kind of interesting to think about, though, because this could really be creative. It could be something we've never seen before. It could be something very intuitive, something actually fun. Like, I mean, what else are we expecting on the Switch in January? I've seen a lot of rumors that say Zelda's not going to be ready for the release, which I'm assuming would piss a lot of people off. Something like this would not fill in for Zelda, but it's at least something, and it's not just like a boring, basketball game. Basketball 20K, yeah. Let's go to Basketball 20K where everyone's robot. or the sun already blew up, so there's no game. It's just over. But, like, you know, it's not a random basketball game. You know, there might be the 3D Mario game, which would be cool. I'd be down for that. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest. You know, Mario Kart, maybe a Smash port. I think the Splatoon port. So having just this weird wild card thrown in there, it could work out way in their favor. People could be like, whoa, what, how, where did this come from? And why do I want it so bad? Or people could be completely indifferent. I feel like there might be a middle ground there. But honestly, the more at the launch, or right within the launch window, the better. I think it's a really good idea that they have a strong launch lineup, but, you know, it speaks to how good the games actually are, because I know a lot of people are expecting Zelda, and they really want Zelda, and that's going to be a disappointment if it's not their launch day. So they're going to have to fill that gap with something, and they know that the launch is important this time. They know how terrible the Wii U's launch was. They know how terrible the 3DS's launch was. Like, I think my first 3DS game was Rayman 3D, funny enough, because we're talking about Rabbids, but the game was terrible. Like, it was an awful port. Like, I think I ended up bringing it back, and I hardly ever do that with games. And then I had, like, a few other boring third-party games, like, and I was like, there's nothing to play on this system. And I think that's what hurt the sales. That's definitely what part of it was. So I think they could use something like this. They could use something really off-the-wall, batshit crazy. Because, like I said, it's like, who asked for this? Who thought, you know what, let's do this? You know, I want to know. I want to know what this is about. I want to know if this is a real thing. Because I'd be all for playing it. Because, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and condemn this right now, because, sure, it could turn out to be completely terrible, but Sticker Star was terrible. Color Splash was not. I wasted a lot of time being mad at that shit, and I feel stupid because I really enjoyed the game. So I'm not going to sit here and condemn this possibly fake game when I think it could be an interesting idea. So, yeah, I mean, other things they throw in here, I mean, it says there's going to be like a quick save feature just in case you're playing on the mobile part, you know, you're taking it to go and maybe you're running really low on battery power, you can quick save really quickly. That's not, I mean, okay. Like, I mean, I could do that with Paper Jam, I think. I think you could just save wherever you wanted, so I mean, that's kind of a given, I guess, which, I mean, whatever you have to say to strengthen your rumor. I don't know if that adds anything to it, but, and then the other thing it says is, you know, the Joy-Cons vibrate to imply a rabbit jumping into and out of them from the TV or handheld screen. The idea is to imply your system is infested with rabbids, and they could anytime jump out of your controller and interfere with the gameplay. So, I mean, they kind of did something like that with one of the Wii games, I believe. Like, there was a mode where you could, like, it wasn't even a game or anything, or a minigame or anything at all. It was just like a dumb little visual representation. But there was this, like, rabbit in the Wiimote mode in, like, I forget what game it was, but, like, you'd press the buttons and you would see the inside of the Wiimote on the TV screen, and they would, like, compress and go in to the, you know, their position, their resting positions, and there'd be a rabbit in the remote control, and you could just kind of shake it around and mess with it, but it didn't really have any point, aside from, you know, if you shook it around, it would scream, or you could hit it with the A button if you wanted to. And it's like, that sounds a bit like that to me, except with a purpose, which, I mean, maybe be cool. Maybe you're in the middle of a battle, and one of the Rabbids jumps off of the battle stage, runs into your Joy-Con, like maybe the side with the face buttons, and it starts screwing around with the B button or something, and maybe the B button is responsible for a certain type of attack, and it's, you know, with that meddling, you can't use that certain type of attack until the Rabbid comes out, so it would be kind of forcing your hand to try a different strategy against the remaining enemies. And, you know, maybe it would last a turn, maybe it would last 2 turns, maybe like a status affliction. I don't know. That's what that sounds like to me. And it could spice things up. It could be really annoying. I think the Rabbids are annoying in general, so I think that's the point. But, I mean, it sounds creative. It could be something. And I think I've said that a lot. It could be something. That's this whole thing. This is basically like seeing a piece of paper on the side of the street that says, garage sale, coming soon, maybe. Like, you can talk about it, but it's like, don't really know if there's a huge point to it. But anyway, I think I'm done pulling from the article. I'm just going to go over the last few things, so my final thoughts. Again, it could be completely fake, but it could also be real, and if it's real, I don't think we should all get too up in arms about it yet, because we don't know anything. Like, when we learn more, if we learn more, we could be amazed. This could be what we need to spice up the RPG franchise, but that being said, if it does spice up the RPG franchise too much, I'm hoping it doesn't become so popular that it becomes, like, the RPG franchise, because, I mean, Paper Mario changed because Nintendo felt like Mario and Luigi was their go-to RPG series, so I don't think something like this would get insanely popular, but if it does, I'm hoping it won't affect Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi, and Paper Mario further, because Paper Mario might just cease to exist, who knows. But, besides that, my last point was, please don't let this be Toad and Rabbid RPG. Like, we've seen that Nintendo is really loving Toad lately. Toad, they're all about Toad. He's a fun guy, and they want us to be around him all the time, and we just, all the, I'm the best! Like, stick with Toad. Don't stick with Toad. No more Toad, please. Like, if they make this game, and every single character is a Toad, and every single enemy is a Rabbid, it's going to be the most irritating thing in existence. And I really, really don't think people are going to receive it well. That will be the kiss of death to this, if it is just Toad and Rabbid RPG Superstar Saga Deluxe Kill Yourself game. Like, that's the official title, by the way. I read that just now. But, like, please, if you're going to do this, do it right. I want to have faith that they wouldn't mess around with Toad too much, but and I know this is a weird place to put this, but it was just when I was writing down my bullet points, I was like, this is the last thing that crossed my mind, and I was like, that is terrifying. That is the most terrifying thought I've ever had about a game that we know nothing about. And at that point, I would just kind of wish that it remained to be nothing more than a rumor, because I don't think I would wish that fresh hell on anybody. But, so I think I'm done with this for now. 20 minutes is a pretty good amount of time for something like this. And, I think, yeah, well, I mean, if you enjoyed this, cool. I kind of enjoyed doing it, but comment with your opinions, other stuff like that. What do you think about it? And, I guess I'll see you later. So thanks for watching, and bye.